do? What button did I just push? Hey, Jeep and Jamber, how you doing? Just getting stuff set up right now. Alright, let's... just adjust this camera here. I think that's good. I got a microphone. I got music. We should be good to go. Where are we at here? I did work on this a little bit earlier today. I'm doing okay. I have a cold, and so if I sound like crap, that's why. But other than that, didn't mean to miss a live yesterday. That's okay. It wasn't very long, and we didn't get very much done. You didn't miss much. I appreciate you stopping by. But, you know, don't sweat it. Oh wow, this is not cooperating. There we go. Come on. Come on. After working with Zerons all the time, these pliers still feel a little wonky. I think that happens every time. Like, I want an extra handle length on this plier in my right hands here. My right hands, as if I have two of them. My right hand, this one, I want this handle to be longer. Okay. So my overhead camera, when I look, I'm doing this all backwards. This is ridiculous. It's like the first time I've done it. When I look through my overhead camera, I can kind of see where I need to change things. And this is the improvement that's been made since yesterday. Thank you for the share. Do appreciate you. So this comes straight down. So we need to remove this ring. If we can find the opening. So one of the things I like about excuse me. Let's see if I can zoom in here. If you're not mistaken, TikTok was 400 plus viewers. Wow. Let's see here. Okay. Do you see the end of this ring right there and how it's not black? Right? The rest of the ring is anodized black. It's anodized aluminum. Okay. So I have a bunch of machine cut blackened rings in this inlay. And the nice thing about this is that when you go to look for the closure, you can kind of find it. It's not too hard. As opposed to like this saw cut ring. I'm not going to zoom back in, but you're just going to have to trust me. The end of this saw cut or machine cut ring here is anodized. Right? Now, if you're going to make a professional product that you're going to sell or display in a gallery or something, I highly recommend using saw cut for most things. With this anodized aluminum, you're really going to have to determine whether or not you want to be able to see the closure. So no matter how good the closure is on this black ring that I just placed, it's still visible. Let's see if I can see. Alright. How's the view over here? That's okay. It's an okay view over on TikTok. Yeah. That wasn't what I meant to do. Alright, so if you don't like the view over on TikTok, please like, share, and follow so that I can get to 10,000 followers so that I can use my regular streaming equipment on TikTok. All of your Chihuahua rings are saw cut and they have the exposed ends not anodized. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, when they think a professional chainmail artist, right? Excuse me. Oh man, I left my cough drops upstairs. They think, you know, saw cut rings, perfect closures, right? And I've only had this issue where you can see the closure in the blackened rings, so I don't know how it affects other ring colors. But it's definitely something I noticed. And of course, if I noticed it, other people would notice if it was in a piece on display. And not like, oh, I noticed it because I'm working with it. I've noticed it immediately from far away. You know, whoever watched, mostly listened yesterday's stream on YouTube this morning? Oh, thanks. I'll take views anywhere I can get them. I was not feeling well last night, and I don't particularly feel great tonight, but I need to get some work done, and I'm going to be working regardless of how I feel, so I might as well have the cameras rolling, right? Alright, kind of want to be careful here because I don't want to add too many rings without defining this bottom loop of this G as I go along. I gotta get this back up here. And I think that if I'm careful, I can get it right and not have to go back and repeat a bunch of work. All right. You didn't do any mail yesterday and none today up until now? Well, thanks for joining me. Hang out and make some chainmail. It helps people get the projects done. All right. Let me look here. Dave Barchagov, thank you for the follow. Come on. You went to H Mart today and saw one guy there that looked like me, but with a way shorter beard. Right on. What is H Mart? I don't know what that is. Is it like a Kmart or a gas station or something? We've got all different types of gas stations up here. Speedways and Quick Trips. The Speedway is now owned by 7-Eleven. I don't know if that's nationwide or if that is just the Speedway around the corner from my house. I think these rings are actually gold through here, but we'll figure that out later. It's a supermarket. Specializes in Oriental stuff. Interesting. Did I just screw that up? I did. Just said, if I'm careful, I can avoid having to redo a bunch of this. All right. There. That's better. What is this music? This is weird. Okay, give me something else. The colors seem more vibrant on TikTok? Right on. It's a completely different camera than what I'm using for all the other platforms, right? I mean, it's my phone camera on Twitter or on TikTok, and I have some cheap Chinese kind of setup. So and then on my front-facing camera, it's a Nexigo. So they weren't particularly expensive cameras, but when I started streaming, I used to just flip the laptop down so that the camera was looking at where I was working. And the cheap cameras, the overhead and the front-facing one, are major improvements over that. That's going to be all gold through there. Saw your Dice Bag and Jelly Cube on Facebook the other day in a chainmail group. Yeah. So I am a moderator in one of the chainmail groups, and then I post to many chainmail groups. I don't really do anything but delete the occasional post, approve the occasional post, and approve or disapprove of someone joining the group, which, oddly enough, it happens fairly often.
I'm washing blankets.
Okay.
He peed on the blanket in his kennel.
Okay. That's fine.
Can you swap him out? Wake him up?
I can, yeah.
He's got a blanket for tonight, so he's fine.
Is the door shut?
Yep.
Okay. We have a new puppy that had an accident. Oh, my foot's going numb. I gotta change position. Just random things. Thank you for the follow. Stormiest1, thank you for the follow. Jonah Ellington, thank you for the follow. Wow. If we get to 10,000, we'll celebrate. Excuse me. So anyway, I just need to match these up. There's a little green section down here. Oh, you wouldn't be surprised if I approved your joining? I might have. Wow. You know, you'd think I'd only been doing this for a day, as often as I have to go back and reweave rings I thought I had woven previously. So how am I going to do this? Is this... Okay, that's not... I'm going to have to swap it out. We're not included any green down here. We'll see what happens. Everything is outlined in black, and it really made the whole inlay pop, and I'm really glad that I did it. However, it makes a lot of areas like this little patch of green here really small. There's supposed to be a little patch of green down here, and now I gotta go back and work that in. Excuse me. So makes that a little difficult, but it's not the end of the world. This is European 6-in-1. So these are 18 gauge 1/4 inch anodized aluminum rings using European 6-in-1. And one of the issues as to why I don't recommend using 1/4 inch rings for inlays. I recommend 18 gauge 5/32, because it's essentially a 1-to-1 pixel ratio. So if you pixelate out what you're working on, you can use 18 gauge 5/32 rings to pretty much just build out your inlay on a 1-to-1 scale. Yeah, the TikTok angle sucks, but let me see here. It's all I can do for now. I'm just glad it's working. I'm glad I'm able to stream to TikTok at all. What a mess. Kind of. Alright, we're going to have to go back and put this green in down here in a minute. That's too many rings. We only need 3. All right. So I pretty much spent the whole day with the new puppy, taking him outside and getting him some exercise. I did not do much else. What am I doing? I have put too many black rings here. That's okay. So I take him with me in the morning to drop my kid off at school. And I take him with me to pick him up. And so all the kids at school are like, oh, it's a puppy, you know. And I let him run around on the playground, get him some exercise, get him wore down. Because puppies have like giant bursts of energy for like 5 minutes. Right? And then after that, they're out for like 2 hours. No, that's close. If I round out this bottom edge, that almost looks like the picture. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm talking about this strip right here. How do I figure out the pattern? So this is all freehanded, which is not a method I would recommend to anyone, because it's really time consuming to do, and you end up ordering a bunch of different batches of rings, and none of the rings match in color. Like if you look closely at the green, there's some dark green, there's some light green, right? All the green was ordered at different times. And I think some of them were from other projects before I started this one. But this has all been free-handed up to this point. There is a couple programs where I know of one. It's called Inlay Grid Pattern, and whenever I get rich, it's going to happen someday. I'm going to figure out how to design one where the user uploads a picture, right, and they pick a weave that they want to use, like European 6-in-1 or 4-in-1 or Japanese 12-in-2 or whatever, and they'll just upload a picture and then ratio it out. They'll scale it out, and it'll give them like all the colors they need, all the ring sizes they need, and they can go through and edit it, right? Try to make it user friendly. And IGP is kind of like that, and it definitely pays to do your prep work. But I'm not. When I began this project, I was not really skilled enough to even know how to do prep work. So I had free-handed all of the inlays I had made before, and they had turned out all right. So I was like, oh, I'll try something a little more challenging. And, well, I mean, it's kind of, you build it out kind of how it looks, and then you go back through and enhance it as you go. Moving rings here and there. the way I am currently figuring out the pattern is I'm weaving a couple rings and then looking at the image on my computer from my overhead camera here and saying, does this kind of look like the picture? And if it does, then great. And if it doesn't, then, well, I go and try and work on it. That burst of energy is called the zoomies, yeah. He definitely gets that. And he's a corgi, so it's a pretty high energy dog to begin with. I did not weave that right. What have I done? I am just special. Hang on. I didn't need to add another ring. I needed to fix a ring that I had not woven correctly. So, to anyone listening, if you ever do an inlay, especially one that's complex, please consider doing all the prep work, right? Gridding out your whole pattern, knowing how many colors of each ring you need before you get started, and getting them all ordered from one batch of rings. Because if you don't, then you'll end up like me, a silly man on the internet trying to finish this weave from 2 decades, or finish this inlay from 2 decades ago. That's probably going to be too jumbled. Let's see here. I was going to cook spaghetti for dinner. Had everything out ready to go. And my son, when I picked him up from school, was like, I want cheese stuffed pizza. Stuffed crust cheese pizza. I was like, you know what? I feel like crap and I don't feel like cooking. I don't really feel like going to the grocery store, but 5 minutes in the grocery store sounds better than, you know, an hour cooking up tomato sauce and making a sauce and whatnot. So I went and grabbed pizza, and I think if I had cooked spaghetti, I'd have been like, yeah, no, I'm too tired to do anything else tonight, so I'm not going to. Excuse me. And I didn't. My cough wasn't as bad today, so I'm not as wore out as I was yesterday. I'm still tired and exhausted, but I think by Thursday I'll be doing just fine. What is this? Okay, let me see here. Let me point you at my smiling face, and I will hold this up for you. So as of right now, it says Finnegans, right? I think, yeah, okay. And it's a chainmail inlay that I'm working on. Finnegans Wake is a bar in Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana. And great little place. And this was like their t-shirt design. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to make it into an inlay like 20 years ago. And now I'm working on finishing it as part of my project of using up all the rings in my basement so that I can move on to other projects with rings that are newer and haven't been stored down here for 20 years. Must take forever. Yes, the one section of this G that we worked on yesterday took an hour, and then I spent some more time refining it yesterday. I'm looking forward to where I get to the point that all I have to do is fill in the green on the outside of everything. Nope, not that. Wrong button. Yeah. I'm about halfway done. I think last year I was working on this project and I replaced all the yellow. It was like a crappy gold before, and I replaced it with an orangier yellow. And I outlined everything in black, and so it looks much better now. But then I never got back to it. My computer decided not to work for a while, and I couldn't get anything done. What I think of your print? I think it's looking good. Your Hylian shield is coming across along nicely. A Hylian shield inlay would be pretty cool. I think I've seen one. I think someone's done one. I don't know. Being in the chainmail community, I see a lot of stuff, and then sometimes I'm like, wait, did someone make that, or is that something else? I'm not sure. You got 3 prints left after today. Very nice, very nice. So, oh, and I was going to say, as for how long this took me, I have no idea. Right? And no way to know. It's been worked on and off so many times. But I was working on a different project the other day and was averaging about 200 rings an hour. So that would be like my final ring count. I'll just divide the final ring count by 200 and be like, okay, that's how many hours I worked on it. How's that looking? Kind of blah. Not terrible. All right. There's what the hell was I going to say? I said there's like I was going to say something and then nothing came to mind. What else happened today? My son plays Roblox and was he was losing his mind this morning before school. He's not supposed to be playing video games before school, right? And then when we got home, first thing he does, he's in his little room playing Roblox, and he starts screaming like he had died. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Some artifact that had a 5% chance of showing up didn't show up whenever he beat this boss, and he was really upset, he told me. Actually, he used words that are 4 letters, and he almost got an adjustment. But I told him, I was like, look, dude, if you're going to scream at a video game like this, you don't need to be playing that game. And I will delete it off of your phone and your computer and your whole account. So I try to be a loving, kind parent, but if you're engaging in something that where you have such a reactive reaction to it, like, you don't need to be playing that. Your little sister does that and it drives you crazy. You can't stand Roblox? No, neither can I. I want to... Well, the person that introduced it to him was my nephew. The person that introduced him to it was my nephew. Right? And they play together on some games, and they play Minecraft together, and... Like, this all kind of went on... Right? All of a sudden, he was just playing it. I didn't know anything about it. Right? So I remember the kids that were the controller throwers whenever they lost a game. Right? And that's kind of how he acts. He's thrown controllers before. And like in my house, that was never allowed. You threw a controller, you were done and wouldn't be able to sit down for quite a few weeks. But I know he's done a lot of work on a lot of these games and stuff, and I would hate to go in and delete that, because I would hate it if someone did that to me on any game that I was playing. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're too young to be this upset about something that, you know, you don't have the maturity to handle. The controller throws your little brother. Nice. Alright, so this is a little rough looking. Not the worst that I've ever seen, but... Before I move on, I need to fix 2 things while I'm thinking about it, because if I don't remember to do it while I'm thinking about it, I'll never get to it. Try to make a habit of doing that. It's like the instant I think about something, go and get it done right away, because if I don't go and do it right away, then I will think that I have done it. I'll be like, yeah, I thought about that earlier, or I thought about doing that earlier. It's done, right? And, you know, I just thought about doing it. I didn't actually do it. So, alright. Missed a ring in here somewhere. You would not be surprised if you did that while streaming. You haven't watched it frequently enough to know? Yeah. Okay. All right, now this over here. I'm adjusting the roundness of this E. Now this is a very old, the Ring Lord ring. It's saw cut, it's black, and the ends are blackened. That's interesting. Just randomly thought of the Wheel of Fortune. Like a G, please. Well, the G is nearly done. That tail is a little wonky, but okay. All right, come on. Like the E needed part of it rounded out a little smoother. It was not. I was looking at it earlier. I was like, okay, I could have done that better, you know. And had I done all the right prep work, I might have had this design planned out long before I even started, but no. I didn't want to. Alright. I mean, this is definitely a lesson, right? And the lesson is that I need to make a program so that I can just upload a picture and it'll make a pattern for me, right? That way I don't have to do the prep work, rather than not just doing just not doing the prep work, right? I think that'd be a good improvement for the chainmail community. It's like there's a guy that has a website for scale mail, and you can go and build patterns on it, and it seems pretty simple, right? But I looked at his whole website, I contacted every email on there. Oh, that looks so much better. I contacted every email, every porter, social media link, and I could not get a hold of him or her. I don't remember at this point. But that's one website that is not added to the Mailworks app. I'm just like, I'd add it, but I didn't get permission from the guy who runs it first, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, it's one of those resources that I know of that I can't include in my app made of resources for new people. So, all right. Where are we at here? We need to... okay, what comes over here? This comes down, and this comes across, right? So we need to make that happen. And gotta add some black here. frustrating yet understandable that I can't get a hold of him. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I can always tell people about it. Right. I even have the website bookmarked, just in case anyone ever needs it. But I mean, the reality is, I don't know if that person's even still alive. The website's just up. You wonder if you'll finish your sleeve before I finish my inlay? You will probably finish your sleeve long before I finish this inlay. Don't do that. Run. An inlay of a bar's logo called Finnegans Wake. Yeah. Sorry, babe, I didn't see your comment there. Yeah. But you are so slow. I'm not moving fast, man. There is, what do you call it? There's, you got to build out what you're working on. And then go back and refine it. And refine it, So, and practice makes perfect, so you'll get faster as you go along. I want to take, I got some sleeves I want to remake. I want to take at least 2 of my 3 larger shirts and open it up like a vest, take the sleeves off, make the sleeves detachable, and that'd be, just have buckles across the chest. I think that'd be a lot more comfortable. Also, I'm a lot larger than I was when I made them, so they don't fit anymore. So I gotta make them fit. We'll see. That's a lot of work that I don't know if I will make time to do. And don't worry, even if you're so slow that you're still working on your sleeve after I'm done working on this inlay, I have several hundred more projects to work on. So I will still be sitting here weaving rings into stuff for quite some time. I think the next inlay after this is probably going to be a Harley inlay. And then maybe after that do a Hylian shield inlay. That'd be cool. Even if someone else has done it before. It's too cool not to do. In the Hobbit movies, you forget which one, and maybe all of them, Thorin wearing what looks like a chainmail coat. You always thought that was cool. Yeah. You are in the House of Elrond, 10:30 a.m. on October the 24th. Got a lot of that in my TikTok feed today. 1, 2... This is her. Okay. Three. And I don't know what I'm doing next weekend. Oh, excuse me. But I haven't done a Ringlord weekend in quite some time. So I need a TV for my basement where I'm at. But of course, I'd be sitting here at the desk and the TV would be over there, so I can always watch them on my computer in front of me, but that's like, I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't do that, but I don't watch movies on my computer. You were going to watch that, but you got busy with your sister's car. I think it's stuck in limp mode. That's no good. I'm going to take my truck in and get new wheels next week. New tires, not new wheels. I've never bought new wheels or new rims or anything. Not even when I had a 1992 Geo Metro with two 12-inch subs bumping in the back and two 6x9s in the doors and two more in the passenger area and some 1-inch tweeters up front. Not even when I had that car with that amazing sound system and like a JVC, not JVC, I don't remember the brand of radio CD player I had. But I didn't even get rims on that car. There's probably a way to watch the movie in the corner of the stream. Movie night? Yeah, I don't know. Movie night. That sounds like a copyright violation. It's one of those things, right, where I'm sure other people do it, but if I went and tried to do it, I would be the only one who got caught. All right. Okay. Something off back here. Your brother watching cartoons, but you're not sure how... Oh, your brother's watching cartoons on his stream? Yeah, I am amazed that I've gotten this far. right? So I have multiple cameras. I figured that out. I have a working microphone. That's all working. I have, you know, my logo up there, spinning, right? But when it came to all the little nuanced stuff with Streamlabs, but Twitch specifically, right? I had such a hard time getting any of it to work that I ended up just taking all of it away and not dealing with it. So I could not figure any of it out. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like real warm this week, so I'm not gonna have a movie marathon while it's warm outside. But once it cools down, I'll torture my family by forcing them to watch The Lord of the Rings and all the Hobbit movies one more time. I only do it to them about once a year, so I don't feel bad, but I'm sure they don't particularly care for it. Oh, man. Oh no. Oh no. How are we gonna fix that? That's no bueno. That kind of doesn't make any sense either. I can just make a line and line all this up, which is kind of what I should do. Looking. Yeah, so this line comes from like over here. I need to smooth this out and do it down here. But this line comes up and attaches right under here. Okay. And goes this way. And that's black. Cut that section off. We need a line. Okay. I'm kind of just trying to figure out what I'm doing. Holy. Alright. That's how I feel about driving your Jeep around everyone else's things, like their rock lights and light whips on while in the city, but if you did that, you get caught. Most because yours is red. Yeah. This comes. Oh, there's a ring missing over here. Who put that ring there? This is wrong. Okay, then that's that, but these can go down here. Right. Do that. So I would like to preserve that. There's a little green section down here I kind of want to keep in place by ripping all the rest of this out. That is what you're watching happen. There we go. Those 3 rings are probably good. You forgot, sorry for calling you out on TikTok. You wanted to plug your app to that guy who... Oh, hey, by all means, if I can help anyone learn and provide them with the resources they need to get started and they take off and fulfill all their dreams, I'm a happy man. So please tag me in any video where someone has questions. Because all I'm doing is going, look here, and you'll find what you need, right? So I don't mind answering that question at all. Excuse me. Jerk alert. It's just a bot. That's all. They pop up every now and then. I've got so many platforms going that I can't pull up the back end on Twitch to delete it or to block that person. It happens, you know. Trolls and bots, and you just gotta learn how to live with them. Well, fucking, excuse me, what, like, I guess green. I have this little strip of green right here. That's all I need. Yeah. I guess it kind of does go down a little more. We'll make it green. It'll be fine. The Goonies reference. When does he say jerk alert? When the real estate guys are coming up? Is that when? Or is it when Brand shows up? I need a moderator for that? Yeah. I mean, I've got, I don't know, 5 followers on Twitch. Do I need a moderator? Maybe, I guess. I've never had a big enough audience to need its mouth when Chunk shows up. Oh, okay. I've actually been to that house in Astoria, Oregon. It's beautiful out there. I went to visit some friends and they took me. Had a blast. The house is in private hands now, but they have like a Goonies stay over here sign. It was pretty cool. It was a good trip. Like that portion of the Pacific Northwest is just gorgeous.
Dad,
What's up?
you know where my TV remote controller is?
No, I don't.
Where did you put it?
I didn't take it. That's not my problem. It's upstairs somewhere. So go up and find it. Do not come down here again. I don't have anything to do with it. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the music. Let me change this. Good Lord. Oh man, my nose is killing me. You meant that I need a mod to take care of things like that for me? Yeah. You're bad at making thoughts legible words? Hey, same, buddy. Same. I've grown up in the United States my whole life. I have a hard time speaking English, so don't feel bad. Oh, the slideshow ended? Thank you. So, yeah, close. Okay. Alright, what are we doing? What time is it? Oh, 9:16. We're making good progress. Doing some good work. Getting stuff done. It's like this literally is the midway point of the inlay. So once I finish up, what is this, like 10 rows? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. 15, 16 rows wide all the way down here. And we'll start on the bottom half of the inlay. That'll be a cool point to get to. Because it's like, oh, you've already sat and figured out this much. Surely you can press on. Yeah. All right. There's I'm just going to be glad when this is like done and hung up on the wall and it's not taking up space on my desk anymore. You know, I work on it and more it takes up more and more space, and I just need to finish it. This is actually one of the larger projects that I have down here, and it's certainly the most complicated, having to sit and figure out where each ring goes. One of the other somewhat complicated projects is wrapping the tops of my saddlebags on my Harley, right? So I want to do that this winter so that they're ready for riding season. And that's not complicated per se. It's just I don't I have leather saddlebags. I don't know how I'm going to connect it. That's probably the hardest part. The chainmail is almost all made already because it was... I'm using another project that I had started. I had started a shirt, and the blackened rings from TRL were not available for a really long period of time, and so that project has since been abandoned after the ring lord trued up all their ring sizes, so as with all the projects down here. There. Excuse me. Those are probably the two. This one and the saddlebag covers are probably the coolest projects I have down here. And if I have, I might have some leftover rings. I might even make a bib for the tank of my Harley. That'd be fun. I was thinking that I would wrap the highway bars, right? But my concern is that they would get really dirty and tarnished and look like crap. So no, I'm gonna leave that like that. I think that's how it wants to go. Yeah, so saddlebag covers, this inlay, a wall art piece, other odds and ends stuff that I've gotta... I have a bunch of belts, and the belts will... they have belt buckles on them. They work, right? It needs to take up vertical space, not horizontal space? Yes, exactly. I've got a perfect spot on the wall for it. Danny Boy's mom, thank you for the follow. So, what the hell was I saying? Something about cool. Oh, belt buckles. So I have a bunch of chainmail belts with buckles on them. I want to change it so that the buckles are attached to the chainmail with leather, right? And then the ends of the belt buckle are like a normal belt, normal leather belt, right? What are my thoughts on belts? I like them. They work. They're heavy. I got an interwoven 4-in-1 belt, Japanese 12-in-2. Got a couple of those. And then, I don't remember what else I have over there. Excuse me. I have like European 4-in-1 on the bias with a 45-degree seam down the middle. Is one of them. So looking at this, seeing if this line is correct. It looks correct kind of in the overhead camera. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna put Bunch of black around this now. But I have a bunch of belts that I want to do that to, and then I have guitar straps. Those will eventually end up for sale somewhere if I can make them a good enough product. Which I have no doubt that I can. One of those things I gotta get to. What other projects? I don't know. I have a scale mill project that I want to make or finish that I've had for forever. There's two of them, and those are actually fairly large projects, so. And I have an acoustic guitar, and it's a cheap pawn shop guitar, but it plays lovely, and the ends on that are leather, which is, I made, but it wasn't very well done, and the guitar strap, the metal chainmail guitar strap, hits my guitar, right? So I want to kind of figure out something where one end is adjustable and the other one is long enough to avoid having the metal come into direct contact with the wood of the acoustic guitar. So I got to figure that out. And that's just a matter of sitting down and figuring it out. So earlier today, we were thinking about doing a stainless steel 6-in-1 maybe when the leather belt started showing signs of ending it. Ending its existence. There you go. Let me grab the 4-in-1 belt. Okay. So, let me zoom in here too. Alright. I got two different ring sizes here, and there's 4-in-1 on the bias with a 45-degree seam going down the middle, and this knob you can easily press it into that and get it to hold. I say easily as it doesn't work there. Right? I don't know if you'd be able to do that with a 6-in-1 or however you want to attach it, but that's how I did mine. Almost all my leather belts are showing signs of wear. Oh wait, no. Yes, I only have one that I can think of. Oh yay. Underneath all this strip of yellow that we just added, once all the black is around it, we can just put some green. A whole lot of green. Don't have to think too much about that. You've seen those buckles that have the two-tongue things? You don't know what they're called? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. all the little, what do you call them? Accessory parts. There's a specific name for them. Now I can't remember. There's a name for the collective group of accessories like clasps and buckles and all that, and it's findings. I don't know if belt buckles fall into that, but there's so many different names for findings. You made a paracord Deadpool belt maybe 5 years ago. You would wear that, but the buckle isn't all that comfortable. Yeah. When I went to high school, we didn't have paracord. We had hemp necklaces. Hey, Mike, how you doing? All right. Missed a ring here. Doing okay? Had better nights. 2 sick 5-year-olds make things unhappy. That's no good. All right. That kind of looks like it's going that way. I'll need to add another line in over here, but that's okay. So right down about here, I'm gonna mark this off. Let me look at my photo reference. Yeah. Sick kiddos is never fun. I've got the crud myself. My kid had the crud. Renee had the crud, and then I got it. You've got double duty. Okay. $1,500 more rings till you're done with layer 3, hitting 45,000 total down. Jeez. It's about 12 pounds. That's amazing. How many rings is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know what the expected total weight is? Wow, my eyes just crossed. About 212 pounds. That's awesome. How many hours a day do you put on this project? So for anyone watching on TikTok, there is a crazed chainmail artist named Mike, and he's making a giant jelly cube some 700 million rings or something like 700,000. And he says it's going to weigh about 212 pounds. Which is awesome. It's going to be a very cool project when it's done. You can dig it 1 to 2 hours a day roughly, depending on other things. Nice. Yeah, I've had a little less time to work on stuff since we got the new puppy. But that also gets me up out of the chair and moving around, so I can't really complain too much. Except when I have to do it in the middle of the night. He got me on the toe earlier. He's got those little puppy teeth. Trying to bite my shoe and he got my toe. Just a vicious creature, if you ask me. About $800 in material so far, 60,000 rings purchased. Total, we'll get 4 full layers done before you need more. Total cost will be over 10,000 in materials. Nice. And is this like, are we entering this in the Guinness Book of World Records? World's largest chainmail jelly cube. You had 4 sledgehammers welded together just to have a heavy hammer for pure destruction at your last job. Unusable, unrepairable furniture. Oh, had to be destroyed and shoved in a 4 foot by 4 foot opening into a compactor. They took your fun hammer away, huh? You have to finish it before you think of stuff like that, but it'd be pretty badass, yeah. Well, the problem with, like, the instant you entered it, and it was declared the world's largest chainmail jelly cube, right, is the instant someone would be like, oh, well, I can make one bigger than that, and that cycle will continue until someone just, like, weaves rings from birth and spends their whole life making the world's largest jelly cube. I need to work on one of my jelly cubes because I've got the rings for it. And it's to replace my rubber band ball on my bar as a feature. You're fine with that? You'd still have the shirt say that once? Yeah. Heck yeah. Here you go. Here you go. Here's a business idea. Right? Make the cube and get it entered into the Guinness Book of World Records, and then set it up as one of those roadside attractions that people can go and visit, like a tourist attraction. It's like world's largest ball of lint right next to the world's largest chainmail jelly cube. And that way you can make some money off of it. It's like a roadside attraction in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. Off a highway, down a dirt road somewhere. Yeah, like the world's largest ball of twine. Alright, I kind of think that... I need to move this over just a little bit more. How does that go? I don't think this will take very much work. Famous last words. You know, after some kind of fame like that, a rich art collector would want to buy it from you for tens of thousands. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'd buy it. Hell. Let me go make tens of thousands of dollars for... I'll work on tens of thousands of dollars and you work on building it and I'll buy it. Think you need to get some flat plates welded to your hammer to cover a void. It causes some inconvenience. Is this the 4 sledgehammer head thing that you were talking about? No, screw that. I didn't get this lined up quite right, so I'm trying to adjust this right now. Yeah, that kind of worked. Here, yeah, the 4 sledge quad hammer it weighs 45 pounds. 212-pound jelly cube, 45-pound sledgehammer. You guys are much stronger than me. I'm not strong enough to consider those projects, to be honest. Come on, there you go. Goodness, that was difficult to find that opening. Yeah. All right, there is a couple of lines I screwed up on here. Trying to make some adjustments before I go any further. That's okay. Because what'll happen, just like what happened with this G, is I will look at it after tomorrow, after I get done tonight. I'll come down here, I'll look at it tomorrow, and I'll go, oh, I need to fix that, and that. And I'll spend a few hours tomorrow fixing it, and it'll look much better. And you'll go, but Sean, why do you do that? It's like, well, since I don't have a pattern, if I get the bulk of the material kind of laid down, I can just kind of adjust as I go along. And it's a terrible way to go about doing inlays. A lot of repeat work for no reason. Well, I mean, the reason is it looked like crap when you tried to do it, so. You used to use it as a doorstop in your office at your last job as well. Like to hold the door open or closed? Like, because it kind of sounds like you could have used it as a boat anchor. Excuse me. All right. That looks just rough. It's okay. Oh, we gotta figure it out. Excuse me. Where are we at? What time is it? Okay. 9:40. It's funny to watch people be like, whoa, try and move it. Yeah, I would not try and move it. That is not, like, I mean, I probably could, but I'd also probably slip another disc in my back, and I don't really want to deal with that. You've done both, it doesn't really matter. What am I reading here? Hang on. was a chain link. Doesn't matter if the door is open or closed for visibility or ventilation. It was a chain link fence. Is your office? Okay. What am I doing? Trying to place a black ring, not a yellow ring. I grabbed a yellow ring like twice. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, I tell you. There. Oh, absolutely absurd. Okay. And then one more. Alright. Go. Fat gut caught the ring. At least it's useful for something. Okay. I didn't quite bring this yellow over far enough. I think maybe it is now. I might have to smooth out some of these lines a little more. Okay, so this hammer, you were keeping it for, you're keeping the door open for carrying things in and out, and closed for keeping people out. Oh, so that you could work. I gotcha. Yep. Maybe I need one of those for the door to my basement. Because my son was just down here asking me where I put his TV remote to the TV in his room. It's like, I didn't touch it. He just knows to come ask me because I'm usually the one that takes his stuff away whenever he gets too antsy, too screamy, whenever I've got too much unfettered rage coming at me from an angry 9-year-old. He loses his stuff. Okay, so there's a line that comes up here, about right there. So we need to stop there for the moment. We'll just drop one more row down. Okay, a few new followers on TikTok. Everyone gets us one follower closer to the coveted 10,000. Hopefully I will start feeling better in the next couple days and I'll feel good enough to like put out a video. The guy in the next office 2 years sliced his artery because someone scared him coming up behind him while, oh my gosh, that's so scary. Arterial bleeds or you're done. If you don't get pressure on that super quick, and it's got to be enough pressure. I used to have, I used to work in cardiac cath recovery for a little bit, and they'd go through a vein in your groin, and when the clot holding that vein closed popped, when the clot popped, that was the worst. And that's just, a large vein. And I guess it depends on what. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember because like I wasn't in the recovery. Let me turn that off. I didn't work in recovery. Like the person just had their heart cath and in the cath lab, and then they were pulled out to a recovery area, right? I was on the nursing floor, the nursing unit, that once they had gotten done with recovery from cardiac cath, they would bring them to us on the nursing unit, and many of them were still recovering by the time they got to us. So occasionally they would have these big bleeds. All right. So I just rolled this up, but let me show you a progress photo. Right, a little bit done on the G and the A. Gonna have to finesse that up a little bit, but it's looking good so far. It's coming along a little bit at a time. It's not going to be perfect. The process that I'm using is terrible. Don't emulate me. Don't be like me. Do your prep work for your inlays. And get an accurate ring count of how many rings you'll need of each color before you start an inlay project, so that you don't end up like me with rings of various colors. Which, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely noticeable. So, for anyone watching, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. If you're interested in learning how to make chainmail, you can go to, on TikTok, you can go to my link tree in the bio. And there's a Google and Apple app, the Mailworks app, which just has a bunch of resources for people to go and learn about chainmail. It's got a bunch of chainmail artists listed, where to find tutorials, where to find ring manufacturers, where to find tools, and tool recommendations. It's just a helpful app to have to get people started, and for veteran chainmail artists to have a place to store their resources. So if you're interested in learning more about chainmail, download the app, check it out. And if you like what you see on my channel, please go to my store. It's myusername.com. And I sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories there. And please purchase stuff so that I can keep doing this wonderful hobby. All right, I appreciate everyone hanging out and just chilling tonight. Hopefully I start feeling better tomorrow, and we'll make more videos about chainmail soon, and I will hopefully stream a few more times this week. So, for your buddy survived. He was out for a week after. It was the blood was everywhere though. You're glad you're about to react quick with clean rags for pressure. Yeah, got to get that pressure on an arterial bleed quick. So anyway, everybody have a good night. I will hopefully see all of you again soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye. There we go. All right. And for everyone else, you too all have a wonderful evening. And I will talk to all of you later. Excuse me.